Morning, Crier Crew. Hope everybody's having a wonderful and blessed Tuesday afternoon. Anyway, guys, I'm just now getting up. Normally, typically, how I get my day started. I'm not a huge breakfast person, but I try to eat something in the morning to try to balance everything out, even if it's something light. So I just got toast and jelly and a piece of smoked sausage, cup of coffee. This is like the typical thing. Sometimes I don't even use the meat in the morning or eat the meat in the morning. I just eat the toast. Right now, this video does not have an intro in it. I apologize for that. I'm actually working on a new video intro. Well, actually, I won't lie. I haven't actually started working on a new intro yet. Because things kind of happen really fast, kind of unexpectedly. But I will be working on a new one in the future. Anyway, I'm doing this video today because, that's hot. I would say excuse my manners while I'm eating and talking, but you guys see me eat and talk all the time. People in my comment section ask me recently and lately, like, Damian, how come you don't do story time anymore? We miss those type of videos. So I was like, well, you know, I got caught up in the mukbangs so much and starting to pick up a little weight there. So I'm gonna have to back up just a small bit. I won't stop doing them, but I need to chill because I'll end up having to change my whole entire wardrobe over. I'm just not ready to do that yet. So, first question is, Damian, where's Darian? We haven't seen Darian in a while. A lot of you guys who are new to my channel may not know who Darian is. Darian is my 10-year-old son. He'll soon be 11 on Valentine's Day, which is February 14th. I've talked to him recently. He's doing okay. Hopefully he'll be with me soon. So it's a lot to that story, and you know, I really don't want to get into that. But for the people who's been asking about Darian, you know, short for Bing, Bing, which is short for Darian. Bing is what I call him. Bing Bing. Gave him that name at birth. But he's doing just fine. I talked to him recently, like I said, you know, and little bit of emotional roller coaster there. So I don't want to really go into details, but Darian is doing okay. As you guys know, around this time last year in November, it was, you know, in my video recently I talked about storms. How there's 3 types of storms. It's the storm that you're about to go into, it's the storm that you're in, and it's the storm that you're coming out of. There's going to always be another storm waiting for you. You know, I said that. The storms just won't stop. The storms just pick and choose on which cities that they're going to hit. You know, they can hit my city one day and hit your city the next day. That's just the way storms move. So as you guys who's been following me for a long time now, or this past year, you know what happened last year with the situation. And so last year was really an awful year. This year turned out, however, to be a really good year. Moving forward in that direction, man. You know, a lot of people ask me, like, as far as like my son that passed away, Deontay. You guys know he was found at a pond last year. He had drowned. He was my oldest son. He was 28 at the time. He's 29 years old now. So I've still been dealing with that. I know a lot of, you know, some people who's never really experienced losing someone that close to you would never understand the true feeling of what that feels like. You know, so we go every day smiling with our head up high, trying to move forward. Because when you lose somebody, you have to move on. It's true. You have to move on. You cannot sit there and dwell, because if you do, it's going to eat at you. It's going to eat at you. You have to move on. So, you know, I won't sit here and lie. I'm bringing it to you guys straight up, facts for facts, man. When you're dealing with something like that, it does not ever go away. Just because a year has passed, just because 2 years has passed, just because 10 years has passed, you don't never get over that. You just find ways to deal with it. You feel me? So that's what that's about, man. You find ways to deal with it. I used to go fishing every single day. Every chance I got, I love the water, man. I love it. You can ask anybody who knows me. Especially if you come to Fort Wayne, you ever go on the east side, ask anybody about Darian Cryer. They'll tell you, I love fishing. But since that day, when my son went fishing, never came home. I never really got into the sport again the way I used to. I mean, it was like my passion. So now that passion that went from the fishing to the YouTube, you know, which is what I like to do in my free time now. I kind of had to veer away from that. I remember one time me and Darian went fishing, and this was right before my divorce. I was still married. I was still at home, and we were out fishing. And before we get on a boat, I don't wear my life jacket because Indiana law, DNR, which is the Department of Natural Resources, say you don't have to have the life jacket on, but you have to have it in the boat. You got 3 passengers in the boat, you got to have a life jacket in the boat. If not, you're getting a fine, or they're taking all your equipment, because you're putting everyone's life, including yours, in danger. So I always put Darian's life jacket on before we even get the boat in the water. So when we got on the boat, you know, we got this little radio. My last year in my old house, I actually spent that winter in the garage decking that boat out. I put carpet on it. I put a new deck on it. I put a brand new radio on it, speakers on it. You know, it was garage kept. Now I'm sitting at my brother's house in the driveway, which all that hard work is just rotting away. But I remember getting on the boat with Darian, and I kept tightening up his vest. I kept double checking it. And Darian was like, Dad, I want to take my shirt off like we always do when we fishing. So I had to unbuckle his life jacket, take his shirt off, then put his life jacket back on. And with the shirt off, I strapped it extra tight. So Darian's looking at me like, Dad, what is you doing? So we got the ride. Now, normally when we on a boat, we going fast. I got a little 10 horse, so it's not like, it's like, you know, it goes like 10, 15 or whatever. So Darian's like, Dad, why you keep looking at the water? I was like, you okay? So I just turned the music up. And finally he's like, Dad, you looking for Deontay? And it just kind of messed my head up, man. It just messed my head up. And so when he said that, you know, it kind of messed with me mentally because everything was still fresh. But I didn't want my son to see me hurting like that, not my 10-year-old. So what I did was I just kept trying to smile, because even though it was too soon for us to be back on the water, I was trying to let him know that things is going to be okay and that we have to move on. I didn't want him to be sitting there dwelling like, oh man, my dad's not going to go fishing anymore. He's not going to take me anymore. I've been taking my son fishing with me since he was 2 years old, and he couldn't even hold a fishing pole. But I guess the moral to the story is this: when people think that you over something, even though time has passed, it doesn't mean that you're over it. You would never get over it. As I said, you'll find ways to deal with it, but you would never, ever be over it. Just a prime example. I see Facebook posts right to this day. And every year on someone's mom's or dad's or grandmother's birthday, they always put, miss you, you know, this and that. And then they have the date, like sunrise to sunset date, which might have been 5, 6 years ago, 7, 8 years ago, 10 months ago, 10 years ago. And so we might forget when we owe somebody money. You know, we might forget to make that car payment on time. We maybe forget to pay our rent on time. No, we don't forget, we don't. But we will never forget when we lose somebody, man. You know, so that's fact. So, you know, people ask me in the comments, like, how are you dealing with the situation now? So that's why I'm doing this video. So basically, I have my ups and downs. I have my moments where, you know what I'm saying, I distance myself from people. That's why I don't really deal with too many people. I keep my circle extremely small. I'm really close to my cousins. I'm extremely close to my cousins. Two in particular, my cousin Tina, my cousin Reese. We are extremely close. So I don't really deal with a lot of people, besides other than the guys that I work with. And, you know, my cousins. Now, me and my brothers are close, but we don't hang out like that because my brothers have a lot going on. I have a brother that lives on the East Coast. My oldest brother, he's just a really extremely busy person, hardworking man, and he's, you know, 100% about that family life. You know, so that's not to discredit them. I'm close to my immediate family. It's just that me and my female cousin and my cousin Reese, you know, we talk about a lot of stuff, man. Particularly what I'm talking to you guys about right now. That's why they like when I come around. I'm always talking real stuff. I'm talking about stuff and ways to make it better, or ways to ignore bad situations, or ways to navigate differently around negative stuff, and more ways to navigate towards the positive stuff. You know, so I would say I got times where I wake up and I just lay there. A lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. When you just wake up in the morning, you look over at your phone and see it ringing. Yes, I sleep with my phone. I sleep with my phone. So I wake up sometime, I look over at the phone, it's just sitting there ringing, or you can see the messages, and I hit the button to activate the home screen. I see all the notifications going across, and I just lay there. Without unlocking the phone, I just lay there. And I'll be thinking like, you know, and it's almost like certain people can tell when something wrong, even if they don't know you that well. Because when you open your phone up, you'll get messages like, hey, I was just calling to check on you, or message you to check on you, messaging you to check on you. I'm like, I ain't heard from this person in like a month. How could they possibly know that I was dealing with something? Because a lot of times when I'm dealing with something, I don't talk about it. I just hold it because, look around. It's just me. So I don't really talk about it too much. I just kind of hold it all into myself. I think that's what one of the problems was. I didn't really talk about it too much. I think at the time when I lost Deontay, you know, I got hit with another storm. So, you know, it was kind of really hard to kind of open up to people. Because you tell somebody like that some things that happen. If I were to tell people things that happened to me all at one time, they would not believe me. They'd look at me like, bruh, fuck out of here. Fuck out of here, man. You lying. That's how they look at me. So sometimes you have to sit back and just absorb the stuff, man, and then you have to think about it before you speak about it. You don't want to just blurt something out and be like, Because sometimes I ask myself, did this really happen? It's crazy. Did this really happen to me? You know, so you only live once, man, and you know, life is one experience. You know, we've never been here before. We've never experienced death before. None of us never experienced a lot of other stuff that we're going through before. So when we were born into this world, it did not come with a menu. You know what I'm saying? Well, last time you were here 150 years ago, you were working at this place and you became this, and you went and bought a Mega Millions on this date 75 years ago or 175 years ago, and you became this. It just didn't come with a manual. You know, the manual that we come into this world with is the manual of our parents, you know, or the people that surround us when we're growing up. That's the manual that we're born with, you know. So had I known 2 years ago where I was going to be today, I would never have believed it. I would have never believed it. You could not convince me 2 years ago I would be where I'm at today, and still standing strong, still trying to be positive, still trying to motivate other people, still trying to be a positive example, still trying to be a positive role model, still the same person who tries to give other people advice, you know, to help them out with their issues. Person asked me the question in the comment section about how am I dealing with the loss of my son a year later. The answer to that question is it's not easy. It still hurts really bad. Oh guys, I gotta reboot again. It's not easy. It's pretty much like it just happened yesterday. It's like it just happened yesterday. It's hard to forget the bad things, you know. I won't lie. I've heard parents, just before my son passed, I heard parents say, if I could change places with him, I would. And I used to look at them like, oh, that's a bunch of BS. Nobody wants to go. Not like that. But now, looking back, I do wish I could trade places with my son, because, you know, he left at 28 years old. You know, he had everything going for him, everything. And he was just like his dad. Every chance he get, he ran to that water. He ran to that lake. He grabbed and posed and ran to that lake. He ran to that pond. And actually, I got his fishing pole. So the fishing pole that we found when, you know, so I kept that. And but now I see what the parents mean by when they say, if I can change places. He was 28 years old, and it's like, I'm 48. So I live my life. What happened to me has happened. I don't see no big explosion going on in my life right now. Because, and that's not to say anything bad or to degrade myself. It's basically saying that I lived my life. I think that it would have been fair if the shoe was on the other foot. I had my chance to do greatness. I had my chance to do good. And I chose the path that I took, you know, which wasn't such a good path. So I believe that I wish that I could switch places with him. That way he can get that extra time and see what could have been, to be able to see his daughter grow, which is my granddaughter, his only child, to see his daughter grow. So yeah, so that's the topic. The answer to the question to the subscriber who asked me about how am I dealing with the loss of a loved one. And I understand that person asking me a question is actually dealing with something similar. I'm sorry for your loss. I really sincerely am. And there is just no answer for that. There is just no answer how to deal with something like that. You can go to all the counselings and psychiatrists you want to go to in the world. Spend all those thousands of dollars you want. My opinion is not going to make a bit of difference, you know, because when you leave that psychiatrist's office, that counselor's office, you're going to find yourself, with your thoughts, you know, and ain't no amount of money in the world, no professional going to help that. That professional stuff, that's just for them to get paid off of. It's a name that they give them with the red wine poured over it with a nice au jus sauce to make it sounds good, you know. The best counseling that you can get is talking to a loved one about what you're going through. If you're dealing with something similar to that, you know, running to a counselor. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that you will find that at the end of the sessions, you know, y'all talked and you was able to shed some tears and, you know, express your feelings. You can do that in the comfort of your own home with one of your loved ones, man. And you know, that would actually help you. I mean, it's helped me. It's worked for me. You know, so I hope I was able to help you out with your situation. God bless you, man. I'm gonna end this video off, guys. I thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that this video gets to the individual that it's intended to get to. And I love all you guys, man. Thank you for supporting me, man. Until next time, I'm Damian Cryer, and I will talk to you in the next video. Peace.